Hello and welcome. Today we're going to trace a really powerful journey of personal transformation. Think of this as a kind of map, a map of how the human spirit can move from a place of profound darkness toward hope and finally into the light. So let's dive in. I mean, it's a feeling we can all relate to, isn't it? That sense of being completely overwhelmed, where you just can't see the path forward. This whole explainer, it's really for anyone who knows that feeling or who wants to understand it a little bit better. Okay, so the journey begins right here, in what the source material describes as that quiet, pre-sunrise darkness. It's a time of total solitude, and it's captured perfectly by this image of a lone figure, head bowed, feeling this immense solitary weight. Now, what's really interesting here is how this is defined. It's not just sadness. It's described as this tangible, heavy presence, a burden that truly isolates you, and one that feels the most intense in those quiet, lonely moments just before the world wakes up. But here's the thing. This weight, it isn't a passive state. It actually leads us to this second phase, an active and often silent struggle. This is the part of the journey where you're really navigating through the absolute heaviest, most difficult moments. And the source material gives us these incredibly moving visuals to show us what this struggle looks like. We see a man praying all by himself, a woman whispering through her tears, people just walking with their shoulders hunched against the rain, almost as if they're carrying the storm itself. These are those deeply personal, quiet battles. And then, right in the middle of all that struggle, we get the first sign of defiance. This quote from Psalm 27 shows up. Now, it's not an instant fix, but it's this powerful declaration of faith. It's like the first spark of resistance against that overwhelming despair. And that spark leads us to the critical turning point in this whole journey. It's right here that an internal change starts to show up on the outside. This is what we're calling the first ray of light. And this illustrates that turning point just brilliantly. The source uses this powerful metaphor of sunlight finally piercing through the clouds. For the first time, we actually see the shadows, which felt so permanent, start to pull back. This is that first real tangible moment of hope. So here's the crucial thing to understand. The transformation isn't really about the storm outside suddenly ending. It's all about a profound internal shift in perspective. It's moving from feeling totally distant and isolated to this deep realization that there's a constant, unwavering presence right there with you. And once that internal shift happens, the external world starts to reflect it. This next phase is all about healing. It's that feeling of immense relief, of calm, as the internal struggle finally gives way to a sense of peace. Oh, I love how this is laid out. It's like an emotional climate change. First, you see faces that are just filled with grief and struggle. Then, the whole environment changes. The rain stops, this warm golden light appears, and finally, the faces themselves actually transform, and you can see this genuine, newfound peace. This quote from Psalm 34, it really acts as both a comfort and an explanation for this healing process. It just reinforces that theme of nearness, that support is closest precisely when you feel the most broken. So this entire journey, it all culminates in one final powerful phase. After the wait, the struggle, the shift, and the healing, you get to resolve. This is the moment where that newfound strength turns into a clear, confident direction forward. So just to quickly recap that whole arc, it all starts with acknowledging the weight. That moves into the struggle, and then comes that pivotal internal shift. This leads to the healing, and it all culminates in the resolve to move forward with real strength and confidence. And the whole narrative concludes with this final, powerful statement of peace and trust from Psalm 46. It's not a command to just be passive, but it's really an invitation to find strength in stillness and in faith. It's the ultimate expression of resolve. Now you can walk confidently into that bright, golden horizon. And so we end by turning this journey back over to you. After all the storms, the struggles, and the healing, we're left with one final question to think about. What does your horizon look like?